We tried to have this going we are trying to go in inside the garden. It wouldn't work, so I've had to basically mess about with my laptop here and basically bring the lads inside the house.
What's missing about on your laptop, aren't you?
So, our fans, they're trying our best here. Right, so we've got a couple of questions. As you can see from the title, I couldn't put everybody on the bloody thumbnail. I do apologise for anybody who wanted to be on it and wasn't on it.
It's a terrible angle, this. I look really fat.
Basically, we're here to talk about transfers. There's a video come about 3 hours ago. We are an hour late or half an hour late, whatever it is. So as I said, we are in a bit of apologies and what have you. But any questions that you do shot in, I'll be able to see them on my laptop here, so I've got a laptop in front of me. Got some questions written down. There's lots to go through. We are joined though.
Advert, sorry. Go on, keep talking.
We are joined though by my dad. So sorry guys, I'm trying my best. I've got my niece running about. To my left hand side, I've got my dad. Honestly, I'm going to see what this looks like afterwards. If there's no good guys, I will bloody take it down, don't worry. To my left hand side, I've got my dad, Andy Powers 8.
Oh, yeah.
Right hand side, I've got a guy Sports, Liverpool, Adam Mackay.
Yeah.
You going to say hello, Adam?
Hello.
And obviously to my other side, I've got my brother, Billy.
No then.
So we're here to basically discuss everything football, football and transfers. My mind's all over the place, apologies for that. So a couple of questions in front of me, a couple of questions off you people as well. A few people want to know about Martin Piero and that situation. Of course, we know he's out inside of Miami at the moment with his ex-team Banfield. Something to do with Banfield and the owner's son. Anyway, we'll get into it all. First question, which was obviously part of the video before. Adam Armstrong, isn't it? Sorry, I'm all over the place. Adam Armstrong for Southampton on loan. We actually inquired about getting him on loan. Southampton have said actually we might want to look at other sort of possibilities to do with the player. Valued at 15 million. I'll ask the Borough fans, and then of course I'll ask you some questions about Liverpool. But towards the Borough fans, starting with Dad on your left hand side, what would your thoughts be on Armstrong and Middlesbrough?
Well, before we start on strikers, midfielders, I think we should talk about goalkeepers personally.
Yes.
As a Middlesbrough fan, I'm seriously worried about our goalkeeper. We had Lumley, we had what was it called? The lad who came in late on. Daniels.
Yeah.
And Daniels did all right, but you know we can't rely on that for this season. Daniels is gone now anyway, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I did meet Daniels, nice guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet him?
Met him at the Riverside.
Oh, you met him? Alright, fair enough.
Met him. It was in the executive box for the last game of the season.
Yeah.
Nice lad.
Yeah.
Nice. I felt sorry for him. But I think we need a goalkeeper badly. You know, you've got Darlow over there who's not going to get his game in the Premier League, is he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, he could do a job for us at the Borough.
Oi!
You've got other goalkeepers, Bill. You've got the lad at Watford.
Yeah, Ben Foster.
He's available. You know, there's options there, and I think that's what we should be concentrating on. Don't get me wrong, we need goal scorer, 100% we do. Andros Sporra did us a favour for about 5-6 games.
Yeah.
But he went off the boil. So yeah, Adam Armstrong, of course, yeah, I love it. But what I'd really love is a goalkeeper.
Yeah. Billy, you're a Borough fan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it wasn't the move that I thought we'd be doing. I didn't think personally there'd be any possibility of a quarter Borough like after he made the move from the Championship to the Premier League.
Yeah.
We had a couple of games Southampton. It's still a move I don't think will happen, if I'm honest. I mean, I'd love to see it happen, but I think I'll be realistic here. He moved from Blackburn to Southampton, and I don't really see it. I think it might just be a bit of paper talk at the moment. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm seeing a lot of Middlesbrough rumoured, not seeing anything set in stone. I've seen nothing that says Middlesbrough have made a formal bid or Middlesbrough have made an approach or anything like that. I'm seeing a lot of Middlesbrough are wanting him, Middlesbrough wanting him. Middlesbrough might want a lot of players.
Yeah.
Of course we do. We want a lot of players. Bye. Middlesbrough want a lot of players, but I don't think Armstrong is personally one that we're gonna get. For me, I think Dwight Gale, on the other hand, is a player. Dwight Gale is a player that we could be getting, but not Adam Armstrong for me. I don't think. much depth than that Mark did.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And just touch on it quickly, someone actually did send in a question via Facebook, so much appreciated, about the whole Martin Piero situation, as I obviously touched on earlier on. Came in, start of this season, wasn't he? A Warnock's kind of player. Scored, one goal I think it is against Cardiff. I liked him. I thought he was alright. Adam, do you know anything about him? Don't know anything about him? Alright, that's fair enough. But like I say, Martin Piero, it's looking more than likely that he won't be here next season. Realistically, isn't it? What do you reckon?
Yeah. I mean, I'll go first as well. I think he's not Wilder's player.
Yeah.
Wilder didn't bring him in. Obviously, Wilder.
£8 million, wasn't it?
I think so.
6 or 8 million.
He looked like a good player, but if it's not Chris Wilder's player, then there's nothing you can do. If he doesn't want him, he doesn't want him, and he knows better than anyone how he sets his team up, like he did at Sheffield United. He's not going to let the players take a wage, if you like, if he doesn't want him. And he's obviously looking at the club, he's looking at the players you've got, and he thinks, well, I want these players, and I don't want these ones. And if he wanted him, he wouldn't let him go. He wouldn't let Piero go for nothing. Well, not for nothing, but wouldn't let him go if he wanted to keep him. So obviously, it's clearly Chris Wilder doesn't want him. I think, in my opinion, he's a player that's not wanted in Wilder's setup anyway.
No, I have to agree with you there. Be a shame to see him go, because I actually did like him. I thought he brought him into the midfield, but as you say, Chris Wilder, especially looking at his sort of track record of his squads over the last couple of years, Sheffield United, he had a lot of sort of, I don't know, English players, if you like. He didn't really have many foreigners. I think he only had one who was still there. Is that Sanderberg? I think he was the only foreign player inside his whole 11. So you can look at it and go, well, that's probably why he doesn't want him then. You know what I mean? But to touch on the Liverpool side of it, of course we've got Liverpool fans here. Adam, Sadio Mane is of course to the back of his Liverpool top. Big time player for you, really. Massive player for Liverpool over the years.
He is, yeah.
What do you reckon? Will he go or will he stay?
Oh no, he's going to go, absolutely. He's only got a year left on his contract, so he will go eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get a bit of money for him, absolutely.
Yeah.
If we get nothing for him, if we keep him for another year, get nothing for him, I think it'll be a shame that he doesn't want to stay at Liverpool anymore. He wants to leave.
Any reason why he doesn't want to stay at Liverpool? Like?
I think he just wants a new challenge. He's won everything he can with Liverpool. He's won everything he can.
Yeah.
And I think he wants a new challenge. I think he wants a bit more money as well. So he's not that high up on the wage.
No, he's not doing fair.
So fair play. Let him go.
Yeah, you reckon?
Get a good 40 million for him.
Has he ever won the championship?
He hasn't actually.
Well, there we go.
Get a boiler.
So who would you say? Who would you say would be his sort of replacement?
I know we're looking at signing a Nunes for about 8 million, but I don't know.
He's from Benfica, isn't he?
Yeah, he's had a really good season, and he could be. He's 23. He's really young. He could be class. He could be really good. However, I think if we're going to be contending with City again, we need.
What about Diaz? Would Diaz not be his replacement?
No, Diaz. I don't think Diaz is a replacement. I think Diaz was already a
strong. Of course, Jota's there, but Jota plays down the middle, doesn't he normally?
Yeah, but towards the end of the season, Mane was playing. He was playing that.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's very true. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think we should be going for someone like Son. I know we'll
have to pay
a lot of money.
He could do alright.
If contending with City, you need one of
So
those.
whoever would you say going in the new season? Who would you say has to come in to sort of win the league again? If you can sign anybody or multiple players,
if we can sign,
what's going to win Liverpool this season?
In my head, ideally, we need to sign Son or Kane, one of the two. Even though Tottenham did get Champions League, so it would be hard. But or even maybe Nunes. If he turns up and plays good in the Premier League, fair enough. But I don't think I think it'll take him a few seasons to get used to.
All right.
And maybe another midfielder afterwards. Where Naby Keita last season was absolutely.
He's leaving though, Naby Keita.
Not a fan of him.
Yeah, he's either leaving or he's getting a contract. So.
Do you know Liverpool? They love goalkeepers. They bought a Brad Jones from us, didn't they? Do they fancy having a go with Lumley? Then get as much out of him as what they did.
We have just let a Carriers go as well, so we do need him.
I'll take Carriers.
Apparently it's been confirmed. I'm being told on here. Matthew
Braithwaite
saying Nunes to Liverpool is actually confirmed.
I know though they've signed personal with
Alright.
deal.
It also says here,
If and around about 80 million.
that one teacher at his college said Armstrong and Gale have been seen at the training ground.
I heard that. I mean, Dwight Gale, on social media, as Borough fans do, they always have that sort of 50-50 divided opinion. I cannot stress enough, and I actually tweeted it. I think certain people like to have you. If you sign this season, when you look at how hard the championship's going to be, because look at the teams that have come down. Burnley are like they're going to lose some players, but they're still going to be strong. Norwich, you're going to keep the same team, so they're going to be up there. Who else come down with them? Watford, they're going to be even stronger. And then, of course, look at the teams that didn't go up this year. Us, other teams inside of there.
Sheffield United.
Exactly. To get out of this championship this season,
Coventry were flying.
They were flying. If we sign, and I'll put it out there, if we sign Armstrong and sign Dwight Gale, they're going to give you 20 goals each, at least. Play to the strengths, at least, right? Both proven at this level, both done it. I mean, Armstrong got 25 goals plus before he moved to Southampton, and Dwight Gale, I think his last time inside the championship, well, listen, Newcastle inside the championship with Dwight Gale, he pretty much took him up on his own. The guy is fantastic. Keep him fit. Yes. Keep him fit, he'll score goals. No reason to why Borough cannot be inside the playoff picture or even top two if he got to, bring them to him. But I'm going to be on some other points as well. I'll ask you some stuff now.
All right.
The basic question: are you looking forward to this new season popping up?
Not yet, I'm not.
Yeah.
Not until I know who we've got, but I will be. I'm excited. I'm always excited, you know that. But I'll be even more excited once we've got a goalkeeper in place, to be honest.
So your idea of goalkeeper will be Cardano, or would you say that's who it is?
Someone like that.
I don't think
he's half decent. He's not world class. He's not like Randolph, or I wouldn't compare him to Mark Schwartz.
Would you have Randolph back?
I would have Randolph back. In a heartbeat, yeah. I thought Randolph was great.
Yeah.
Victor Valdez as well.
Do you like him?
He's 29 now, isn't he? How old is he now?
He's tired now, isn't he? No, but I mean, listen.
Barthez, I'd have Fabian Barthez, mate.
To touch him down Randolph, he was brilliant for us, him. I know a little bit.
Anyone would be better than what we had last season.
1,000,000%.
No disrespect.
But if we had Cardano and Randolph, Dwight Gale and Armstrong up front.
Where was Joe Lumley trying to score goals last season? He was always on the halfway line, wasn't he?
No good. I'll ask you two lads the same question as well. The new season, for you, Adam, are you looking forward to it?
I am.
Looking forward to it?
I think the Premier League is going to be very exciting next season, especially with Bournemouth coming up as well.
Yeah.
So I honestly think it's going to be a very exciting season.
Good away day, that Bournemouth.
Good away
day.
And in terms of like Liverpool, of course, everyone says it. Sky Sports, every single pundit says it. But Liverpool, Man City, do you see it being the same again? Liverpool, Man City being them two teams
No,
that
I think
battle it out.
I think there's going to be. I do think United and Chelsea are gonna try.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's going to be as much of a whitewash as it was this season.
Oh, that's interesting.
Definitely not.
Billy, look forward to the new season.
I'm not.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a struggle. I'm looking forward to it. I love the football, so I'm looking forward to it being back, obviously. But I think in terms of from a Borough perspective, where we're looking at now, obviously there's no signings been made yet, but like Dad said, there's no signings made. But once you get for the door, I think there's too many teams this season that can compete. I think there's any of the playoffs that didn't go up. So the three that didn't go up last season, and you've got the three that came down. You've got those Blackburn could potentially be there again if they get a couple of signings in as well. It's a tough season. There's 8 teams possibly that could push for playoffs and automatics. I don't think it's going to be as easy as Borough fans will make it out. I think, like you said earlier, about if you signed the two Adam Armstrong and Dwight Gale, there's no reason. And there isn't any reason, but we're not the only set of fans sitting here saying that. All the other teams in the league, Sunderland, I know Sunderland fans are thinking that they could do a bit if they have a couple of signings coming in.
Sure.
You've always got a dark horse team that's going to come out of nowhere and excite you, like Blackburn did this season and Coventry did last season. They do something, so you've got to think if you include a dark horse team, there's 9 teams going for 6 spots.
Yeah.
We're not the only team sitting here saying if we can get 2 players in that are really good, we could be winning the league. There's teams that have already got proven goal scorers that are pushing to win the league. I think next season, I'd love to see Borough win the league. I'd love to see us be up there, but I don't think we will. I think it's going to be a playoff push again next season, unless we make some miraculous signings that are, because the squad right now is not good enough for playoffs.
True. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, that is true. I thought last season we just flopped it. Let's be honest, we all got killed on the hope of it.
Scary. It's scary.
Yeah. I hate seeing us inside this position. Being inside the championship, of course, me growing up, and Well, also Billy as well. We're always a Premier League team. To see us now suffer inside this league, it is, it's not very fun. I've got to be honest with you. But saying that, it means big teams inside the league, one that shouldn't be there. We've got to make it our absolute aim this season. And the thing that gives me confidence about this season is Chris Wilder's first season with Sheffield United inside the Championship, just missed out on the playoffs. Second season, added a little bit, didn't go mental inside the market, added to his team a little bit, finished second. Not saying it might happen, but then again, if you take the same approach, it does happen. You never know, because, Chris Wilder come in, 18th or 16th, finished us in 7th. So he's got something about him. 100% he's got something about him. 2-year contract, so he's already had, half a year, maybe a year. What's this now? He's going to look at it and go, okay, well, new contract would be nice. We're inside the Premier League. I think this season could be very exciting if, and only if, we bring in some players. Can't scrape by with experienced and 35-year-olds last legs. We've got to bring in good players.
We need quality now.
Yeah.
When we got Martin Piero, that's what we thought we were bringing, didn't we?
Yeah.
And the reason I don't think he will leave the club is because where would he go and who would want him? Because he's done nothing for us, has he? He's not proved what we thought.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Carlos Marinelli in a way. We had these high hopes. He's the next Maradona in Argentinian.
Yeah.
And what happened? You know what I mean? He didn't show anything at the Borough. He showed moments of madness. But you've done that. I've seen you do that on a five-a-side pitch. Look at you. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can't really.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
I'd love to keep all the Piero for another season at least, just to see. It must be hard coming from a South American club and coming. From South America.
Yeah.
Coming to England. I mean, why the hell would you want to come to England if you live in South America? Let's be honest. Unless it's for money, which is usually what it is. But me personally, I wouldn't want to bloody leave South America now.
Not to go to Middlesbrough.
Not to come to the Borough.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the Borough.
Of course.
If you cut me now, I bleed red.
You wouldn't leave Argentina to go to Middlesbrough.
I've got to touch on the point as well. You mentioned Blackburn Rovers and adding players. Their fans are devastated because Borough about to sign their defender. He turned down a brand new deal to come to Middlesbrough on a 4-year deal. Lenihan, I don't know how. I guess that's how it's said. Lenihan, very, very similar sort of player to Daniel Ayala. Hopefully, he's much of a liability though. He looks an absolute beast. Of course, everyone's seen him inside this room apart from Adam. Oh no, sorry, Adam was there against Blackburn on that Monday night. He was at the back. Nobody can get past him. Another centre back addition. What do we reckon?
I think it'd be a good sign. I think it'd be perfect. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Bring up the club. I mean, that's one of our problems was last season was leaking goals, and you can't always blame Lumley. Sometimes our back four was atrocious. And our centre backs were out when we had Dale Fry missing.
Yeah.
We looked awful.
We looked rubbish.
Looked dodgy every time they went on the attack.
That kind of cost us though, didn't it?
We had two centre halves that were both over the age of 35 or something.
That's it.
They can't play in Championship football. Lee Peltier and Sol
people, do you know what it is though? Last season, I was going over the way and people were still slagging off Dale Fry. Don't know where it comes from. He is, for his age and the things that he's done for us so far, he's brilliant, this Dale Fry.
I thought he came out with his shell last season.
Yeah,
I've been one of his harshest critics the past couple of seasons, especially when he used to play right back for a bit. He was awful, he didn't know where to go, he looked nervous, he just wanted to get the ball out of his feet every time it came to him. He was shaky at the back, but this season, the season just gone, he was a lot more composed with the ball, he's a lot calmer, and he was, for me, probably up there with my top 3 players of the season.
Do you reckon Lenihan could be better than Virgil van Dijk, like?
I think he already is better than Virgil van Dijk. I mean, Virgil van Dijk.
Who's Virgil van who?
Oh,
Dick van Dijk? Wasn't he in Mary Poppins?
Virgil van Dijk still.
So a few more things to ask is before we go on to the public's questions here. The little one was aimed at you, Adam. How many trophies did Liverpool win? Because last season, all I heard was quadruple. Didn't happen, unfortunately. What do you reckon this season, realistically?
No, well, I mean, yeah, I honestly didn't think we'd win a quadruple. I was like, no, that's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're from Redkey, you know all about disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. But like being in Liverpool last year and everyone was optimistic. Everyone was like, we're winning a quadruple. I'm like, calm down. Calm down. Like, don't get too ahead of yourself. Unfortunately, Man City broke our hearts like they always do. And then a week later,
Vinny Junior masterclass.
Vinicius Junior. No, it just wasn't that. It was just the fact that
Trent can't defend.
we just couldn't score. We had like a 20 had shots. And we
Yeah,
just couldn't
no.
score. Couldn't
Courtois
score.
masterclass.
Courtois was absolutely unbelievable. Real Madrid deserves it. They had an unbelievable
Would-
unbelievable winning. They deserve
What
it.
would you say cost you though? Because of course, 2 trophies, Premier League, Champions League. What was the downfall for not winning the Champions League? What? Same question about because when you think about the Premier League season, you were so many points behind, picked up the
I think
points.
the reason we lost the Premier League was the fact that we were in so many competitions. We had
Right.
so many. We had to rest certain days. We struggled against Tottenham because we had so many games. We had the FA Cup, we had the Champions League,
Yeah.
and the Premier League. We had so many games to in
Mhm.
a matter of weeks. So I think that's what cost us in the Premier League.
Squad depth.
Yeah, well,
Definitely.
yeah.
You haven't got the level of players
Would
on
you
the
say-
bench to keep
Would you
up
say the
with.
Champions League was like?
The Champions League was just the Champions League is one of them. It's one of them. It's the final.
Yes, yeah.
Anything could happen in the final. It's a 50-50 of who's going to win literally. So
No, that's fair
unfortunately,
enough.
this time it didn't win. It didn't
Can
go
I,
our favour.
can I ask Adam a personal question?
Go on.
Adam, do you think Everton will stay up next season?
Yeah.
You do?
Easily, yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
They've always been an established Premier League team.
Good answer, mate.
Absolutely.
Fair play.
It's just an
Good
easy
answer, man.
it's just an easy 6 points as well. So.
Easy 6 points.
And I'm gonna ask
You're not
everyone.
to Origi, so I that's where he goes now.
I'm gonna ask everybody one last question before we take some comments from everybody watching. Start with you, Dad.
Great comments, by the way.
Next season, whereabouts to put a finish?
Right now, if we started the season tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, I would say we'll be lucky to finish mid-table.
Well, if we bring some signings in and all that sort of
If we
stuff,
bring a goalkeeper in,
you're realistic. That's where we'll finish.
we need a goalie, defender, a couple of midfielders for me, and a couple of strikers. And if we did that, I'd say we'd win the league.
So you say
Because Chris Wilder, as you've mentioned, is a legend.
Yeah.
You know, he'll get the best out of them players.
He's a proven
But
winner.
you can't have a Porsche 911 Carrera Turbo, you know what I mean? You can't have a Porsche engine in a Dacia. You know what I mean? Because everything's going to break on it. You've got to have a team around you, which is all
a spine, isn't it?
Yes.
And we don't have one of them in
We
the minute.
don't have a spine. We don't even have a... Well, we've got a couple of decent players.
We've got a good centre back.
Yeah.
And then it goes
If
from
we can get Ben Gibson from Norwich, that'd be a nice
See, I think
signing,
we've got
wouldn't
the midfield for me.
Yeah.
Is sound. We've got Tav, we've got Howson, we've got Crooks.
Talk of Tav
Yeah.
leaving.
We've got
it?
McGree.
Oh, don't get me wrong, we've got some great players.
If Tav leaves the Borough, right, how much will that hurt us in terms of our team?
massively.
I think
massively.
it's a bigger loss than if we lost. Is that
Spence,
it,
for
Joe?
example.
Wilder.
Oh,
Lost
Spencer's,
Wilder.
Spencer's he's a no-brainer that no one really cares if he says or goes. I don't want him at the club. His attitude stinks. I'd let him go. I don't
coming
want
out
him
on
anywhere near the
Twitter
club.
like he did as well after against
Go on,
Warnock made his career, mate.
Are you
Warnock sent him
rebelling,
out on
mate?
loan.
Oh,
Warnock
shit,
sent him out on
Sorry for
loan.
the language.
Sorry about that.
Warnock,
Are you an idiot then? Are you an
you
idiot?
know, Warnock put him on loan at Forest. If it wasn't for Warnock, he'd just been sat on Brother's bench all season.
But look how humble Warnock was in his reply to him.
No, it's true.
You know, that's why we love Warnock, because he knows how to speak to
He tells how it
players.
is, but he can also back it up, can't
Of course he can.
he? Yeah, I
And
agree.
he's the one that'll say what he wants us all to sing when he dies for a minute.
Yeah. No,
Do you know what I
definitely.
mean? And that
Yeah.
sums the guy
He
up.
just
'Cause
speaks the truth.
yeah, he's not bothered about being loved.
He walked straight up to Rudy Gestead on his first day and said, "Right, lad, off you go. We
Off
don't
you
want
go.
you. We don't
Get
need
you
you."
back.
Break
He did
you
what
as
every
well,
Borough fan was begging for.
just to get rid of the dead ones.
Get rid of
That's true.
the ones that don't want to play for Borough. If you haven't got Borough in your heart, we don't want you here.
No, true.
If you're here for money, you're in the wrong club. See ya.
Yeah, got none.
You
So
don't have money.
your answer was get the signs in, we win the league.
Yes.
What were you, Billy?
Get the signings in. Top 3, but I can't tell you where because it depends. It all depends on what other teams are bringing in. Because you know Norwich, they're proven championship winners. Every season they come down, they go win it again.
Yeah.
True.
Like Fulham. So if you got to think of that, if you think of that, well, Norwich win the league.
Watford.
Watford could finish second, but then again, Watford win the league, or they could finish third. I think it'll be right now. Norwich, Borough, Watford, top 3.
While we're looking at this
No
long
order.
term,
No
if I
position, no order.
just change something a little tiny bit. This parachute payment carry on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something like 70% of the teams that go down go back up again.
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, they've got the money, to go back up. Whereas you've got clubs like Coventry, Middlesbrough now,
Yeah.
who don't get any help anymore, and they struggle to get back up. and it's because they haven't got the money. So the parachute payments thing for me should be knocked on the head
Oh no, definitely. I think
to improve.
they have it there to help clubs survive, because the drop from the Premier League and Championship is a massive drop.
I get that.
You're going to lose all your
So
players.
therefore, then just govern how they spend their money.
I think you should give them.
Have it, keep it in your bank. Don't be
yeah.
blowing it on
Yeah,
players
yeah,
where
no,
other teams can't
I
afford to
agree.
buy.
People have found a way around it to not manipulate it, but now they found a little
Yes.
inside. And
It's got to be looked at.
we can get more players in with the money now. We can shift the money about. We can get back up, and it's obviously every team wants to be in the Prem, but it's unfair on the teams that are battling it out every year in playoffs, and the 3 teams just go straight back up. It's just,
Yeah.
Fair enough. And Adam, where was Liverpool finish?
I'm gonna say where Borough. I think Borough will finish first.
Go on.
I do think after I watched them a fair amount last season,
Yeah.
and there's some games where they looked like a Tavern Crooks were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like in the FA Cup,
Yes.
absolute fun. Watching them
Class.
against Tottenham was unbelievable.
Yes.
I was like, what am I watching here? What's going on? Unbelievable. So I think bringing those signings in, looking at it should get a top 6. It has to be a top 6, otherwise
I think so, yeah.
it's never disappointing season.
Can I just ask you another question? If you were playing Middlesbrough in the FA Cup final last season,
Right.
if we had beaten Chelsea, what would you have felt going into that game as a Liverpool fan against a Middlesbrough team?
Oh.
That you've got?
I would have felt confident.
Really?
Yeah.
You still think they won't beat Liverpool?
I don't think so. I think,
Don't take the Chelsea result into
yeah, right,
consideration.
I feel like I think the teams you beat had a lot of holes
Right.
in them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, it's
That
absolutely
just puts
it was
us
class,
back on our,
Yeah.
you know,
no,
no,
because
I was-
our heads were up here. we
I
think,
said this.
oh, wow.
I said this to Adam after watching the Tottenham game. I said, you got to look at the best 3 teams in the league right now. Is Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool, and none of them beat each other in the league last year. They all drew. All
yeah.
9 games, I mean 12 games
I didn't know that.
between them 3 last year. They were all draws. So they're the 3 standout teams in the league. And the fact that
Apart from the
we
FA Cup, we've been
you know,
that's the only one.
that's the only time
Surely.
someone had to win the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The team
yeah.
has to win that game.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that we got those to there, and we didn't put a bad performance in against Chelsea,
No.
but we did get shown that we're nowhere near the level of.
I've got to be honest.
Obviously, we're nowhere near compete with the top 3 teams in the world in the
Obviously,
league. That's
no.
obvious.
In
We're
the
never gonna
Premier
beat
League,
that. Of course not. That's a
You
stupid team to
couldn't
think
compete
that.
with the top 3 in the Championship.
The
most
fact
of
that
the
we
time.
True.
beat Tottenham, but we put in our place against Chelsea. We said, look, you're not ready.
Fulham
for
made us look
I'll
silly.
never understand how that goal off Ziyech isn't saved, or at least even touched.
That was terrible.
When he hits the
That
shot,
was
I know it
what?
bends right towards
Oh,
John
Ziyech, yeah. That's because you had John Lumley in goal. That's exactly why.
The thing is, even if he doesn't score that, Borough just didn't have anything.
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, they were class.
So it was
Thiago Silva was like prime back in his day.
Oh,
man.
he's- he-
I
Chelsea-
think if we'd have had George Fend at left back, we'd have won.
Ah,
that
give
game.
it the
I
right.
agree. I agree, yes, boy.
I'll take some questions off the public now before we end the.
It was awful where he got through on the
Yeah.
left, like
If
on our
not,
left.
I think Liverpool will win one trophy next season. It'll be the Premier League.
Oh.
That's
So, I mean,
I don't think we'll win
don't think you win the Carabao or?
Mate, you never know the Carabao. You could push for, but I think he needs to focus and win the Premier League.
So, you think you win the Premier League?
Has to win.
He's
the
a-
And
Premier
do you think if he doesn't have success, do you think we might get rid of him?
League. No,
He's just signed a new 5
he's
years.
just signed in 4 years.
Who's that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we won't get rid of him. No.
So,
Oh.
He's too low.
we'll take some,
Good, yeah.
Anyway.
we'll take some questions here. Matty Braithwaite asked us, "Oh, we get a good fee for Piero, or it's quite a waste." True.
No, definitely. Your problem is you're doing what. Trying to think of another club like this year. I know he's gonna be end a minute ago. He's left.
Yeah.
He came at the start of the season, done now, and they've let him go. And like another Paul Pogba situation. Bring it to Man United for 100 million and let it go for free.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the waste. You just sold him for now to Juventus.
Yeah, but he did quite a lot.
Yeah, but
for me,
you
like,
gotta think.
United.
Yeah, but it's either. I know what you're saying, but also at the time when you need money, you need that money. We haven't got no money, so we spent 8 million on him, and for nobody from Argentina.
He started at the beginning of the season.
We started at the beginning of the
Yeah,
last
so
season for
that's-
£8 million.
yeah, that's a waste of money.
He scored 1 goal against Cardiff and a couple of appearances in the cup games. He came on against Man United,
Yeah.
and then you go and let him go for.
Yeah.
If you're taking a loss, then
It's pointless, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true.
you've gained nothing. Quite literally, you
Yeah.
took a loss, and we can't now in a position to afford losses because
Can't afford
we
it,
let
but
Britt
it's-
go for nothing. We let Fletcher go for nothing. We've let enough players. George Fred went for nothing. I know he wasn't. We didn't
Did you
sign
get
him
it
for
for Ben
anything.
Gibson? Was it? Oh no, yeah,
We got a bit for Ben Gibson.
We're not letting Spence go for nothing, are we?
But no, we're not going to. Exactly. So we need to do what we do with Spence is. I was let Piero go out on loan. So we'll give it back to Banfield on
Yeah,
loan.
on loan, yeah.
Have him on a year, And then, if he's any good, you can sign him back for 8 million and give us our money back.
Yeah. Somebody asked here, Buddy Till I Die says, what club do you think Joe Lumley will go to?
Hartlepool Town.
It's like a League Two.
Hartlepool Town.
Hartlepool Town, they're not even a team. Not even a team, Hartlepool
He
Town.
got a Darlow, wouldn't he?
Do you reckon?
I think
David Wheat-
I think
David
Joe
Wheat-
Lumley would
Joe
fit,
Lumley could get in a
would
decent...
fit in at like a League One,
Yeah, League
like
One.
a Plymouth or something like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
he would.
Cooper's a quality goalkeeper for them, but someone like...
Sheffield Wednesday backup goalkeeper, something like that.
Yeah, you got Billy Peacock fan, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that would be good for Lumley, because he's not... The problem is he's a good goalkeeper when he comes to his... He made some big saves last season against Millwall and stuff. He had some brilliant saves. But
I'm just talking overall.
his overall performance, he lacks confidence massively. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to come out and get the ball.
Yeah.
He wants to command his box, but he hasn't got the confidence to do it. So he comes rushing out, and he gets caught out every time. Like we had to bail him out against Peterborough.
I think pre-season when we watched him at Rotherham, he looked great.
He looked good in some games last season. He looked like he'd be a good goalkeeper at the start of the season, and then he just unfortunately lacked confidence. I don't think the fans jump on his back every week.
When he tried doing a Fabian Barthez and going to the halfway line, that used to wind me up.
Right,
Because you couldn't get back.
it was a frustrating goal. I think Barnsley was the last straw.
Yeah.
Last day on the coffee
Oh,
flight for me.
100%.
That was awful.
Stood inside that stand for down to the bottom of the league after the hour. I was thinking,
He gets Mex on the edge of his box.
seen some bad games.
That was awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Almighty Nick supports Accrington Stanley, so hello
Who are
to
they?
you. The Almighty Nick. He says, I don't know who this is, by the way, Nick, so you might have to tell us, but he says, what do you think of the player from Accrington Stanley that Borough are going for? I wouldn't know. Does anybody know?
What's that, sorry?
Anybody know the defender from Accrington Stanley that Borough want? Anyone heard of it? Nick,
If
please tell
it's
us who
one
it
of the
is.
team of season on FIFA, then I can't
Right,
know.
yes.
Unless it's him, I don't know who he is.
Accrington Stanley.
I know we were waiting for Scott Twine, weren't we, from MK Dons? That's got a bit quiet now.
Scott's Warren player.
All of that sort of speculation. That's been killed.
Someone said Liverpool in the bin,
Oh well. Vinny Junior.
and he said Liverpool were looking to be fair, good team, but City edged it again. Which is kind of true.
Did.
It's true.
The boyo, who I know is a
Ross
massive.
Sykes is his name.
Who?
Ross Sykes.
Yeah, the centre half. Yeah.
I've heard of him, but I don't know.
I think he has a 2 season card on FIFA.
And
That's
he's
the
still-
only way I know him.
He must have been decent.
He must have had a good season. He
Yeah,
got 2
of course.
season card.
So
Borough didn't get one.
Alana Know, who's a massive Bournemouth fan, lives in Middlesbrough, said, "Alright lads, will my team Bournemouth stay up?
I don't think so.
Done no business so
I
far."
apologise, but I
Oh,
think they're down.
The thing is with the Premier League, it's just ridiculous.
It's
now.
ruthless.
There's not many teams
You've
that
got to
have.
have, you've
Yeah.
got to have money and you've got to spend
The
it.
thing is, they've got like they've got a Dominic Solanke who's he's a very
Yeah.
very decent
Yeah.
striker, and so
But
the
again, you've got to look at the spine. What got them
Spine.
promoted?
Yeah.
They had some really dodgy games last
Philip
season
Dillon.
that didn't make them.
Yeah.
Well, they
world
didn't do well
champions.
against
And
Borough in either game. They got beat
Yeah.
in one and got during the
So you
other.
look at that and
And
think,
And they were
well,
poor against
the
us.
top teams are going to
Yeah.
destroy them.
Yeah.
You think, well, we probably beat Everton.
If you
we
look
could get a point.
But if
we
you,
could get
if
three
you look
games.
at Brentford though, they put in some quality
Yeah.
performances last season. They didn't really bring in much from the season
That's true.
before, and unless Bournemouth have players that are good enough for the Premier, that's what you've got to ask yourself. Is your team now good enough to do it? No. Need to spend money.
If you look at Fulham, right, would you say Fulham are a mid-table Premier League team or a bottom half Premier
Bottom
League?
half.
I think they have
So if you're
players that
looking
are
at Fulham as
have
a
the
bottom
ability,
half
though.
team, where are you looking at Bournemouth?
Bournemouth goes in the bottom three, don't you?
So you're looking at relegation then, aren't you?
Yeah.
That answers the question pretty much, unless they sign Messi, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not being so
Obviously
funny.
not,
But if
but
they sign some decent
Quality
players, then
players.
yeah, they'll have a chance, but it's all about money in the Premier League and players. If you've got the best players, you'll... And it's not always like that either, it's chemistry, isn't it? So it's a tough one.
No, it's true.
Tough one.
Matty Briffett says, "Where do you think the spent money would be best spent?"
the moment,
Goalkeeper.
it looks like it's probably going on Armstrong if we're going to sign him. That looks like it'll be going. I think what we should probably be doing now is
The only reckon as
instead of
well.
splashing out 15 mil,
Yeah.
get the Spence money and distribute it. Goalkeeper, a couple of mil. Even if you get them on like free transfers and use it for wages, so you can maybe pay a bit more wages if you want. to a
Yeah.
couple of
Who's your free
players.
transfer though? Is a decent
Well,
fee?
they reckon as well. Spencer will be worth 10 million if he leaves.
He's 15 a minimum though.
No, he's not, no,
No, I'm
absolutely.
saying
Yeah.
for me he's a 15 million
He
pound
went in
minimum.
he went in the PFA Player of the Year and his value raised to 10 million.
Really?
there's nothing to say we can't push for 15 though.
Yeah,
I know,
add-ons and whatever.
Conte from Tottenham.
They're no longer interested.
They know, because I remember the other day he said do whatever you can to sign Spence.
It's just not
It's
enough
just
Forest.
now. If it's just Forest, I say let him go for 10.
Yeah.
If it's Tottenham, let him go for 15 because they have the money. They have the money to do it. It's like if Newcastle want to sign someone, you can pay an extra 30 million, I'm afraid, because you've got the money. If you've got the money, you can have it.
But until I die says if Martin Piero stays, would you start him next season?
It's hard to fit him in for
my
me.
reaction was the same. It's a tough one, like, because our midfield.
I agree with Billy with what he's
The midfield picks itself for me every week.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Ryan McGree lacked last year because he had no space for him because Crooks was too good. No, let me speak. Crooks was too good, and then as soon as Crooks was suspended, McGree came in.
Yeah.
So he fits in there. There's his replacements, and I think Piero, does he replace Tav? Does he replace Howson?
No.
You can't. Unless one of them gets suspension or injured, then unfortunately they haven't got a space in the team because that midfield is too good.
Yeah, that's true.
I know horse racing's got nothing to do with football, right? But I used to work in horse racing once upon a time.
Did you?
I did. And I was an apprentice jockey, and I went to the governor, that's what we called the boss, and I said to the governor, how come you're not putting me on the decent horse? Why am I always riding the rubbish? So I'd race a horse which was absolute rubbish, and it'd tail off 16 to 23 and stuff like that. And I said, why can't you put me on a decent horse? And he said, because the owners wouldn't be happy about it. They'd probably get rid of me as their trainer. So I'm trying to help you by giving you experience in the hope that one day one of the owners will say, oh, put young Andy Tate on that and let's see if he gets on all right. And that's the same with looking at Martin Piero.
Yeah.
You put him in your side, you're going to get fans and everybody else who are getting on the manager's back, which they don't need. So you've got to give the lad a chance, I get that, but you can't just put him in the starting lineup. You've got to weed him in, a bit like we did with Riley McGree towards the end of the season, which you mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just throw him straight in. So with Piero, he had a year. He did start a few games. He started really quite soon after he signed. If you remember, we were playing him, and he didn't show us anything. It was hard work for him. So I think starting him from the start next season, well, this season coming, is not the right thing to do for him or for the club. So I'm with Billy on this one. I think he should go on loan for a bit.
True.
And if he shows willing in the English leagues and he can do it, produce, we either sell him or we bring him back in, put him in the first team.
That's true. So we'll take two more questions and then we'll call it a day. Just a quick thing as well. Apparently Tottenham have made a £20 million bid. Don't know how true it is. My breakfast
I did read that, yeah.
Yeah. The one before the one that we finished on says, can we have 3 in the Prem to go down and 3 in the... Sorry, 3 in the Prem to go down and of course Premier League winner prediction.
So 3 to go up, 3 to come down?
No, 3
to go down and of course the winner of the Premier League. So
the winner?
Who's getting relegated and who's winning it.
Again, it's hard to say before you look at the transfer market, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what we signed, but early doors now.
Yeah, it's all one football.
I think your bottom 3, it's hard to say, but I think, you know, Newcastle are out of there now. You can't bring them into it anymore. I think Leeds United we all love to see go down. But I think you're looking at the 3 that have gone up.
Again, but most for me,
likely.
Yeah.
If they can keep Rafinha, Leeds, which at the moment it looks like they might be, but I know Barcelona are interested. If they can keep Rafinha, they've got a chance. Yeah, if the Leeds can keep Rafinha, I think they'll be sound. But I think if they let him go, they don't bring the signings in. I think they're gone. I think Bournemouth will go. I think Forest will go as well. I don't think Forest are Premier League quality. I think the trying to sign Spence, for example, where he hasn't done anything. Ryan system was the exact same at Tottenham. He went to Tottenham and did nothing. So,
do you remember when Leeds first went up under Bielsa and they were flying, weren't they?
Yeah.
But the second season they weren't the same. But even though they had the same sort of manager structure, the players, everything else. Is that because other teams found them out, or is it because it kind of like wore off a bit, the excitement of being in the Premier League? It's hard to say. So when you look at Forest, who've just gone up, they were flying at the end, weren't they? Once they got this new manager, this Czech guy, what's it called?
Steve Cooper.
Steve Cooper, lovely looking lad. our lass got a picture of him by the side of her bed. And they started to fly, you know what I mean, towards the end.
Yeah.
So I think the momentum will carry on for them,
Okay.
especially if they sign Jed Spence as well, because they're trying to raise the funds to buy it. And I hope they do for Jed Spence's sake. I mean, I'm not one of these people who hate players when they leave. He's got a bad attitude, but he's a kid. He's got to learn that.
Yeah.
And that's how we learn, by our mistakes. Maybe he won't learn. If he doesn't, well, it's his own fault. But we can't get on people's backs and say, well, you're an idiot then, as much as we'd like to. I'm too old now to be that sort of person.
Who's your winner of the Premier League next season?
My winner of the Premier League next season will definitely be Newcastle United. I'm lying. It's Leeds. It's Leeds all day long.
Fair enough.
No, it's obvious. It's got to be Liverpool, hasn't it?
You reckon? Obviously.
It's got to be Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think Pep Guardiola has been found. He's been found out now, and yeah, I think it's time for.
Sterling wants to leave as well.
I think it's time for Pep to go.
Yeah,
He's just like Haaland,
Sterling
though.
actually wants to go.
Yeah.
So you're going with Liverpool to win the Premier
I
League.
think Liverpool.
Fair play. And your winner?
I think it has to be Liverpool.
Right.
Or it's another disappointing season for Liverpool. It's irrelevant of what they win. I don't care what they win. They could go win everything. If you don't win the Premier League, that should be your main priority, because you keep losing out. If you look at the stats between them and Man United, 7 times Man United win the league with less points than Liverpool have had in the last 4 years. That. So you got to think the competition they got now. They finished on 97 points and 95, and they finished on 90 plus points and finishing second. That's not good. You've got to win the league.
I mean, it's some record, but
it's amazing. But unfortunately, it means nothing.
To get into the 90 mark and not win the Premier League is a
pointless stat. You finish on 90 points, but you finish second.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. You didn't do anything.
So you're going with Liverpool?
I'm going to think if Liverpool have to win it, because they have to. They have to simply win it.
Your bottom 3 in your Premier League winner, mate.
No, I feel like Brentford are going to struggle this season. So it's like a second season syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always. I think it could be Brentford, Bournemouth, and Leeds. Brentford, Bournemouth, and Leeds.
And of course, your winner is.
Liverpool.
Has to be the Mighty Reds for you.
The Mighty Reds, yeah.
For me, I'll go with the winner being Man City. Sorry, Adam, but I think if we bring in Haaland and he gets good form, I just don't see any striker in the Premier League touching him. I then think the bottom 3 will be. I think Bournemouth go down. I think Fulham go down, and I can see Brentford also dropping down. But we'll have to call it a day here, fellas. Got a lot more to talk about. We could do a part 2 somewhere in the future. But these lads have to go off to this Festival Park life. I have no idea what it means. I'm too old.
It's in Manchester.
That's the one. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate it very much. Billy, if you can do the honours, click the little arrow. See you guys next time. Peace out.